Today I'm going to be showing you the 6 exercises you need as an aspiring firefighter to pass the job-related test, to pass the physical aptitude test, and to go on to become a high-performing firefighter. Now, each of these exercises are related to the test, but also the role of a firefighter as well. They are essential to becoming a high-performing firefighter and ensure you can excel as a firefighter and go on to save lives. Now, the first exercise is a deadlift. Today, I'm going to demonstrate with a trap bar deadlift. This turns it into a little bit more of a squat mechanic, but what we're looking for is picking something heavy up off the ground. The idea here is we're building real-world strength, ready to lift a casualty up off the ground, ready to drag them backwards. For the casualty evacuation test, you need to be able to lift 60 kilos. However, the average weight of a UK male is 80 kilos. So I'd recommend you are much stronger than the minimum requirements. With this, we want to be lifting as heavy as possible. We're going to build total body strength as well as posterior chain strength as well. So all the muscles running down our back and the back of our legs as well. Next up is a farmer's carries. Now, farmer's carries are essential for grip strength. They're going to help you lift up casualties. They're also going to make sure you are able to hold onto the equipment whilst doing tests like the equipment carry and the drill ground assessment. Now, the hoses you will use in those tests weigh around 17.5 kilos. So that is where we want to start. But if we can lift heavier, it's going to make that test so much easier. The last thing we want is for you to have to stop in the middle of a test to put something down because you've lost your grip and waste valuable time. It's also essential in the role of firefighter as well, because we're always going to be carrying different pieces of the kit forwards and backwards to the incident ground. So again, we want to make sure we have good grip strength. Now, next up is going to be a chest high carry. This is essentially where we are carrying a weight out at chest height, just away from the chest. Now, the idea here is we are mimicking carrying a hose or running a hose out. When we're running a hose out, it needs to be kept away from the chest because this is how it unravels. If we touch that hose to our chest, it will stop unraveling, we'll mess it up, and will cause a huge kink in the line. And that's not what we want. In an ideal world, what we use here is a slam ball. We want to aim around 12 to 15 kilos. However, if you can do this with a 17.5 kilo slam ball, just like the hoses, it's going to put you in a really good position. You want to hold out just in front of your body, just away from you, and we're going to walk up and down with it. Now, if you really want to practice hose running, what you can also do, drop it down to the floor and you can practice the rolling. Now, next up is a sled drag. With the deadlift, we have lifted the casualty off the floor, but next we need to drag them to safety. Often what you're going to do in a rescue is grab them underneath the arms and drag them. You do not want to be picking them up because it's going to be much more weight to carry. So instead, what we're going to do is a sled drag. Now again, for the casualty evacuation, you only need to lift 55 kilos. However, as I said earlier, the average weight of a UK male is 85 kilos. So the more weight we can put on the sled, the better position we are going to be able to rescue someone when the time arises. So get your weight on the sled, and then what we're going to do is we're going to drag it backwards. Now, if you superset sled drags with sets of deadlifts, you are onto a winner when it comes to casualty evacuation. Now, next up, we want to be building overhead pressing strength, so building up shoulder strength. What this is going to do is going to allow us to build the strength up to underrun a 13.5 meter ladder. Now, underrunning the 13.5 meter ladder is what we are doing to get it from the ground up to vertical to put it into a building. Now, the 13.5 meter ladder weighs around 135 kilos. Obviously, you are not going to be lifting all of this. However, you are going to be lifting a section of this, and you need the strength to be pushing it up above your head. 1, to underrun it, and 2, to lift it back onto the fire engine. And this is where a strict press comes in. What we're going to do is using a strict press, so a standing barbell military press, and we're going to push it up above our head to build the overhead strength needed to push the ladder up above our head. So no bouncing, we want a nice strict press, up and back down. So once we've underrun the ladder and got it up to vertical, we need to be able to extend it. We're going to be pulling on a rope down to extend it. There'll be 2 of you doing this, but you're going to need grip strength, you're going to need bicep strength, and you're going to need lat strength to be pulling it down. I know plenty of aspiring firefighters that have failed the ladder extension test or struggled on their recruits course, quite simply because they don't have the strength in this exercise. Using a rope on a lat pull down machine is going to help you build the strength and the lat strength required to extend the ladder. Even if this is not part of your physical aptitude test or your job related test, this is still an exercise you should be doing to prepare for your recruits course. So this exercise is best if it's done with a rope, because that's going to allow us to build the grip strength. Because remember, we're going to be using quite a thin rope. You're also going to be wearing gloves as well. Now, what we don't want to be doing is using the stopper at the end of the exercise. We want to make sure we're using our grip strength to hold on to the rope. So we're going to place one hand above the other, and we're going to pull it down, because this is what we're going to be doing in the test. You can even do what we do in the test, where you're going one hand on top of the other, and then just swapping around constantly. So down, one hand at a time. This is going to help you build up the strength required to extend the ladder. So those are the 6 essential exercises you need if you're an aspiring firefighter to not only pass the physical test, but to go on to become a high-performing firefighter, ready for anything the job throws at you. Firstly, we have deadlifts. That's going to build the strength to lift a casualty up off the floor. It's also going to build total body strength, especially in the posterior chain. Secondly, we have sled drags. Once we've lifted a casualty up off the floor, we need to be dragging them backwards to safety. Sled drags is one of the best ways you can mimic this, and this is going to allow you to build up that strength and fitness required. Third, we have farmer's carries. Farmer's carries is going to allow you to build the grip strength needed to carry various pieces of equipment up and down the fireground. In things like the equipment carry, as well as the drill ground assessment, you're going to be carrying various pieces of equipment, and if you have to stop to put a piece of equipment down, you're going to waste valuable time and potentially even fail the test and lose out on your chance to become a firefighter. Fourth, we have slam ball hose running. So with this, we can be mimicking the chest high hold where we're running a hose out in front of us. We can also mimic the hose running where we're rolling it along the floor. Hose running has been cited as one of the most demanding tasks within domestic firefighting. This is going to build firefighter-specific fitness that is relevant to the role. And when you go on to become a firefighter, you'll spend an awful lot of time hose running. Fifth, we have strict press. Strict press is going to allow you to build the strength to lift a ladder up above your head and underrun it. It's also going to allow you to pass the ladder lift test, where you were lifting somewhere between 30 to 35 kilos above your head, depending on the service. And sixth, finally, we're going to be doing those rope pull downs to build up the lat strength, the bicep strength, and the upper body strength required to extend the ladder. Because remember, once we've got it up to vertical, once we've underrun it, we need to be able to extend it to get it into those top floors. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram for more firefighter-specific fitness tips.